So I recently saw a post going around the internet, as well as even a podcast episode, saying if you were given $200 to spend on your photography or videography gear, what would you buy for $200? Well, I figured I'd one-up that by doing my own take on this, which is $100 or less. So here is my top 10 favorite pieces of gear that cost $100 or less. Alright, so first on my list, and this is in no particular order by the way, is my Neewer mini tripod. It is metal, it is strong, it is tiny, but it can also extend up to I think 20 or 21 inches, and it can go down really flat. You may be thinking, why would I need a baby tripod that size? And I do call it my baby tripod. Well, there's a lot of uses. For instance, right now, I'm actually using this underneath my Canon R6 to record this video and all of my other videos and all of my Skype sessions because I work at a desk. I can't have a tripod next to me or in front of me, so I use my little baby mini Neewer tripod to hold my camera on my desk, and it does a great job. Attaching the camera onto the top is very easy. It has an adjustable ball joint to get all kinds of crazy angles. The legs, like I said, can extend quite a bit. They can also fold out flat so that you can get the tripod really low to the ground. So this tripod is exactly what I've been looking for my desk recordings such as this one, and it is $51. Alright, next on my list is the Yongnuo LED 300 version 3 light. That is my main key light I have blaring in my face right now. It's what I use for all my video productions, and it is a great, lightweight, sturdy, and very bright LED light. It of course has the adjustable cool and warm LED array inside of it, so you can balance between warm and cool or have them both up to max to get the most power out of them. It can take a battery on the back or a power cord. The light itself is $79. The battery is $21, and the power cord to plug it into the wall is $25. Okay, continuing my love for Yongnuo LED lights is my newest purchase, the Yongnuo 360 version 3 as well. This is a light stick, and that's what my blue light is coming from right here. So I can actually show you this one. Here it is. Looks kind of like a lightsaber. It is a flat LED light wand. It has RGB, so I can do any color I want. And it also has, I believe, the warm and cool LED lights as well, so I can balance between that if I want a more natural color. It comes with a remote control, which is really handy, so I can basically balance my colors like that. I can use the color wheel. So this is full brightness at the 55K LED, and this is 100% on the 32K LED light bulbs. But I really like it for color effects. During my photo shoots, during my video. It's really great for rim lighting and side lighting, things like that. I haven't gotten to really test this out fully at a photo shoot. I did use it at one for some side kind of cast light, but this was a very dark setting, so I could get away with just using this light. This is not super powerful. You can't have this thing 10 feet away and light up your subject in daylight. This is not a daylight LED as far as its power. It is actually over $100. I'm gonna break my rule here. This is $120, but there is a previous version. I think the version 2 and even the version 1 is still very popular among videographers, and those are I think $60 or $80, somewhere in that range. But very affordable, very portable. These also take the battery pack, and they can be plugged in with the same cord that I power this LED panel with. That cord I said earlier fits in here, and you can get forever power and not worry about your batteries dying. I had this at full power with the daylight LEDs, and I think it lasted for just over an hour with the battery that I purchased for it, which you'll see the link down below. All right, next on my list is camera strap clips. I bought these for when I put my Canon R6 on a moving gimbal. So when I'm moving around and getting smooth gimbal shots, I can't have a camera strap hanging off the camera. So I found these, basically attaches onto your camera with little small clips, and then you put the other clips on your camera strap. So if I want to, I can unclip both sides and have my camera strap free, which is ideal for when you're doing videography on a gimbal, like I said. But it's really handy. I really like them. $8. That's pretty great. Probably the cheapest item on here today. All right, next on my list is the SanDisk 128 gigabyte SD cards. These are $20. $20 for 128 gigabytes. I don't know if that's normal or if this is like a special deal they're doing, but that is dirt cheap. Now it says here 150 megabytes per second. Now that is not actually the writing speed that your camera is using when it's creating files. That's the reading speed that it can read from, which I don't know why they list that. Actually, I do, because it's a bigger number. That's why they list it. Kind of tricky. But as far as I can tell, I'm using this right now and I've been recording 4K for a while and I'm not having any slowdown or errors because of a slow write speed. So this is, as far as I can tell right now, more than capable of recording 4K video. And I'm sure it can handle my HD at 120 frames per second. I'll be testing that soon. But yeah, I got two of these actually because, hey, I need big cards for video work, and $20 each for 128 gigabytes, pretty sweet. So go get them. And also, I prefer to stick with SanDisk brand. The last time I got two cards, they were Lexar, and their speed limits were lies. I couldn't even record HD video for more than like 3 minutes. So that was very disappointing. And I bought those two cards a few months apart. So no more Lexar for me. I'm sticking with SanDisk. All right, next on my list is another Yongnuo product. Why are there so much Yongnuo on here? Because they're cheap, and this is a $100 or less list. So this product is a Yongnuo 560 version 4, or IV. This is a speedlight that can attach on top of your camera. It can also receive wireless signals so that you can use it off camera. That's off camera flash, or OCF. I highly advise you do that. Don't just buy a speedlight, put it on your camera, face it at your subject, and take all your pictures like that. Don't do that. That's bad. It doesn't look good. Point it up and use bounce flash, or get it off your camera, use wireless flash. You will need to buy the transmitter. The flash itself is $85. I could have sworn it was $60 at least a few years ago. I don't know why they would have gone up, because they've released new flashes since then. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. I swore it was 60, but they're 85, still cheap for a good, reliable flash, and it is about 3 or 4 times cheaper than the Nikon or Canon name brand version. Now the transmitter to make this flash a wireless flash does cost $43, but it's great because you can control this flash and others wirelessly from your camera. The only drawback is this speedlight cannot do high-speed sync, but honestly, it's kind of a very special case use when you want to use that. I think this flash is more than capable of getting great photos without having to use high-speed sync. I used 2 of these for years for some of my best cosplay work. I used what was then $60 speedlights and this $43 transmitter. You can find kits on Amazon to get 2 of them, as well as gels and diffuser caps, for just over $200, and that is an amazing starting kit if you want to get into off-camera flash. If you need high-speed sync, I suggest getting the Yongnuo 600 EXRT 2s. It's a mouthful. Can't they just name it after an animal or something like Mac? I don't know. So I suggest those speedlights if you need high-speed sync. All right, one more Yongnuo product. I promise they're not paying me, although they should be, because I'm always bragging about their products. The next one, the last Yongnuo product on my list, is the 50mm f1.8 lens. This lens is $60. What lens can you buy that's $60 that will actually get you good results? Now, I will admit I don't own this lens. This is the one thing on this list I don't actually have. But hey, if you're starting photography and you want to get the cheapest lens possible, if that's what you're looking for, but you also want to get good portraits, this is a great starter lens to learn on. It can shoot at f1.8, which is a very wide open aperture inside the lens, lets in more light, which means you can shoot in darker settings. You can get a decent exposure usually in darker settings rather than better than a kit lens at least. And you get a blurrier foreground background bokeh, which is great for portraits and macros and things like that. But just a much more professional look. So if you're going for that background blurry look, if you're shooting in darker areas, in the evening or inside houses in your house, then this is a great lens to get at least to start learning on. All right, next is AA rechargeable batteries. You can never have enough of these things. I got an 8-pack of these for $19. These are the 2800, what is it, megawatt, something, 2800. It basically is the power, I think it's the power output. The higher the number, the better they are as far as what they can give out to your flash to charge up the bulb or the capacitor to use it for speedlights. These also are used in the transceiver that goes on top of the camera. So every season or so, I'll buy another 8-pack to get, fresher, newer ones, because they do have a lifespan. Depending on how much you use these, they may last maybe a year or 2 years, and then you probably will start noticing, less output output. That's just how rechargeable batteries go. But hey, at least I'm not buying, a 40 pack from Costco for $20 or whatever every time I do a wedding. Like, that's just destroying the planet one battery at a time. So I'm actually saving the planet by buying these rechargeable batteries because they last so much longer. So if you're doing speedlight photography, I highly suggest you use rechargeable AA batteries. They also make AAA batteries for your other accessories and home appliances, and of course your annoying kid toys that all need batteries too. Now, as far as brands, there are a number of brands to go with out there. Inaloop is the one I used for years, but I found out that Amazon Basics, which is what these are, use the same factory, the same battery core underneath this pretty colored green thing. It's the same battery that Inaloop makes. It comes from the same factory in China, and they sell it to about 4 or 5 other companies. So they all have the same battery, just different prices. Amazon Basics is pretty much the cheapest of those, and I like them. Good experience with them. Again, try to get the higher output number you can. 2800 is, I think, as high as most of them go. You might get a 3000, but those get a little bit pricier. So these have done me good, and buy a bunch of them because you'll need them to charge them all. I have my next product on this lineup is my 16 bay battery charger. This is not sold anymore, but if you shop around, you'll find others that look exactly like this. Strange. Again, I think the factory just sells the blueprint or the pieces to other people when they resell it, whatever. So these usually go online for about, $37, $38. You can charge 16 AA batteries and or AAAs. That's kind of cool. You may be wondering, what are those dark marks on your charger, Jane? What happened? Well, that's when I tried to charge a non-rechargeable battery. That's what happens. But you know what's great? My house didn't burn down. Something happened, but nothing bad happened. It didn't burn down, so that's a good sign. I guess this does something right. Maybe it turns off the power when it overheats or something. I don't know what the deal is, but it has a decharge button. Be careful. My kids accidentally pushed this one time while my batteries were charging up for a gig. And yeah, I left with decharged batteries. Now I think there's some reason for that. If you want to like kill your batteries and then recharge them for full after that. I don't know the science behind rechargeable batteries, honestly. Not going to pretend to know how that all works. I just know how to use them in my flash. And I know that charging 16 at once is awesome. I don't know how long it takes. Probably depends on the batteries. It does plug into the wall here with a little wall wart plug. Awesome. All right, next on my list, and perhaps my favorite, is the Huion Stylus tablet combo. This thing is big. It's a USB, basically sensitive surface that comes with a stylus, voila, that you use as a replacement for your mouse or trackpad. Now, I work from a laptop, and using that little trackpad for precise selections and painting and special effects and 3D work is not cool. Carpal tunnel syndrome all over the place. Not good for your hands either. But this makes it so much easier, a large space, more precise. It actually makes it fun to select things. Generally selecting things is pretty tedious and not fun. It's one of the most hated parts of advanced Photoshop work. But using a stylus pen just makes it kind of fun again, and easy and quick and much more precise. So for all my very precise work like selections, painting, retouching, even some 3D work, I really prefer to use that over my trackpad or even a normal mouse because it's great. It only costs $67. Now I had the Wacom medium Intuos. Cost like $300. Like I had it for years. It's actually so old they don't even sell it anymore. And I lost the stylus in the depths of my couch, which is what I found out later. I didn't know where it went for the longest time. So I couldn't find the stylus online. They didn't make it anymore. So I just bought this guy for $67. And I'm thinking, oh great, this thing's gonna be junk, But it's great. I've had a few very minor issues with it, but in the past year, no issues. It's been solid. So it's great. A lot of bang for your buck. And I really enjoy editing with it. It does have some customizable buttons you can see along here, as well as these numbers up top. I don't know if you can see those. This is really dirty, by the way. I'm sorry. I have kids. I'm just going to use that as my excuse. But there's also some numbers. I think it's like touch-sensitive number scaling up top, if you can see that. I haven't actually figured out how to use those, but these buttons are nice for keyboard shortcuts. If you use them, you got your right hand here, your left hand on the edge, just kind of pushing the buttons if you like to use those. The stylus itself does need to be recharged, which is strange because the old Wacom one, you didn't have to charge the stylus at all, and it was like, I don't know how that worked, but you do have to charge this every now and then. It lasts for a long time. Like I've only charged this like 3 times since I've had it for about a year. And there's 2 buttons on here. It is, of course, pressure sensitive, also tilt sensitive. If you use that for, like, paint, you can control your, I don't know, the rotation of your brush in Photoshop or whatever. So lots of customizability, and I really enjoy using that. So that's it for my toys that cost less than $100, except for that one LED strip over here. But I think you'll forgive me because that thing's so awesome. Thanks again for watching. If you have any questions about these products, let me know in the comments down below. If you have any of them, if you like them, love them, if you hate them, let me know too. I'd love to get some interaction with you guys, some feedback on these products. And all the affiliate links are down below in the description section. You can click on those and it'll take you right to the product. Thanks again for watching and have a great week.